6:30, it is time to start our board meeting, October 24th, 2022, 6:30 in the evening. Let's start with our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We have no media present this evening. We do have a special presentation by Chloe Hathaway, which we will go to right now. Chloe?
Good evening, everyone. I'm Chloe Hathaway, a senior here at Whitko. This year, all third-year Academy students in the healthcare pathway were given the opportunity to choose a capstone, either working in the healthcare field or a community project. Many people chose to get out in their field of interest and work at the hospital, while I was the only one to choose to do a community project. For this project, I chose to do a blood drive. Although I'm not learning hands-on experience in the healthcare field, I've learned many other skills that will leave a similar lasting impact, including learning how to contact people in higher positions than me that I've never even talked to before, or how to think outside of the box when something goes wrong. These skills I'm learning are valuable and will be very beneficial for my transition into the workforce in college. My blood drive is going to be hosted here at the Academy on Thursday, November 10th from 3 to 7 p.m. after school. The company I am working with, Versatile, also offers rewards to the people who host these events in the form of scholarship, money, and cords for graduation, making this a beneficial event for me personally and our community. These incentives provide even more motivation for me to make this have a successful outcome because this event is benefiting me and our community. From previous experience at our school, I understand that it is hard to get enough volunteers to take time to donate to this cause, and that is why I'm taking this opportunity to spread the word as much as possible, and why I thought it would be best to open this event up to the community and not just rely on the student body. I am also taking this opportunity to boost the word and attention on another group that also started out of the healthcare pathway classroom. At this blood drive, there will be a table for SODA, which stands for Student Organ Donation Advocates, as I am part of this group along with several other students. Having multiple things going on at the same time, I feel will boost the outcome of education on organ donation and the importance of blood donation at the same time, which is one of my main goals. Keeping with the trend of including other people and groups from our community, the business teacher and her students at the Academy have been helping advertise and put the word out about the blood drive, which has been super helpful for me in an effective way to communicate. By everyone working together, we create an environment that will produce the best outcome in the end, which is what everyone wants to work towards. Something that was recommended to me by the representative from Versatile was to make the blood drive have a theme, which was unique to me as I've never really seen a blood drive with a theme. At first, I didn't know how I felt about having a theme, but after thinking about everything all these different people from different places have put into helping me produce an effective blood drive, and taking into consideration what month this event is happening in, the theme officially became centered around honoring veterans and coming together as a community to do something big. This event is already about selfless people coming together to do good, so why not make it about how our community helps others without a doubt while recognizing that Veterans Day is the day after this blood drive. At the end of all of this, my biggest goal is to have a great amount of people show up, exceeding my goal of signing up 30 people. My wish is for people to leave the blood drive educated on what they came there for, to help others and to see a glimpse into organ donation from our soda table. I shared all this information with everyone here today to spread the word about how important these topics are to talk about, and how important these events are to our community and the people around us. In addition to this blood drive, on November 10th, there will be another one similar offered in the spring to those who are willing to participate. If anyone has any questions or would like to sign up, there's information on the Career Academy's Facebook page, and the link to sign up is also posted. Thank you for taking your time to hear about this upcoming event in our school.
Thank you, Chloe. I just want to clarify, it's November the 10th
Yes.
from 3 to 7?
Yes.
And they prefer that people sign up, or can you just walk in?
We prefer that you sign up with the link that is on the Facebook page.
Okay, so then go to the Facebook page for the
Yes.
Career Academy and
Yeah.
find the link.
Yeah.
Great. Good luck. I hope there are a lot of people come.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll move on to the Students of the Month. This month from South Whitley Elementary, nominated by Jessica Long, we have Aaron Ross.
She's not only a model student in 5th grade, but also for our school. And she works hard and does her best every day. She's often caught doing the right thing for others without even asking, and she is constantly learning and growing as a student, and we are just so proud of her and enjoy working in her class.
Congratulations, Erin. Next, from Pearston Elementary, nominated by Beth Woodard and Tasha Kenny, we have Ian Chandler.
All right, well, I am proud and honored to speak on behalf of Mrs. Woodard and Mrs. Kenny. They weren't able to make it tonight, but they had some wonderful words to share about Ian. Ian is a kind, generous, and helpful 5th grade student. He's respectful and has a positive relationship with his peers and adults. Ian participates in class discussions, completes his work in a timely manner, and after completing his work, he enjoys and is always willing to help any classmate. He actually seeks out and is like, hey, can I go help somebody? And often the answer is yes, and that is a wonderful trait. Congratulations, Ian, for a well-deserved award.
Congratulations, Ian. From the Whitko Career Academy, nominated by Tammy Coyle Walter, we have Audra Brandenburg.
Audra is a second-year health science student in my class. I'm going to say, I've got everything here, but I can't say enough about Audra. She is amazing. I'm just going to go with what I wrote because I won't put this up. It's truly an honor to have her in my class. She embraces her learning experience with optimism and dedication, always. Audra is extremely disciplined in her education and her life. She is not a student that just does the work. To get a grade, she pushes herself to the next level by doing the work for a better understanding and a better learning experience at the highest level. She's very active in everything that we do in class, whether it's discussions or activities. She's very active in it all. Audra supports her fellow classmates. She's very thoughtful. She always contributes to her peers' learning experience. Audra holds herself at the highest level, and she shows that in everything that she does. Audra is the definition of a leader. She truly is. It is consistently shown by her peers. They always look up to Audra as a leader. If I have a substitute in the classroom, they can ask who would be the person to get their work done the fastest, and it's always pointed right at Audra. Who would be the person who could help me? It's always pointing at Audra. She is not only a great representation in the classroom, she is a great representation of all our student body and our school, whether it's on the volleyball court, honor society, on the softball field, whatever it is she's doing, she represents our school very well. And I would just like to thank Audra for always bringing a smile to my face every day and making my teaching experience here with my career academy.
Congratulations, Audra. From the junior senior high, the middle school portion, we have Luke Long, nominated by Mrs. Evans. She's here, I saw her.
Hi, thanks for coming, Luke. So I nominated Luke for many reasons, but one is his leadership. he has been involved in helping us with some of our renovation ideas, and he comes with great ideas in a mature way. He's also a kid who just is another one who makes me happy when I see him in the hallway, because it's always, Miss Evans, how's your day? And that means so much. He'll give me 5 sometimes, depending on how he's feeling, but I know that I can look to Luke anytime, and he will help anybody who needs it. And he's just an outstanding young man, so that's why I nominated Luke. Thanks.
I'm just going to come on this family because we had our committees for the evening renovation working on it still, and Luke was on that committee. He was a student representative. He was in a room full of engineers, there were police officers in there, there were adult community people. He was a student, and he was one of the most vocal. That takes a lot of guts. I just respect that.
Congratulations, Luke. From the senior high school, we have Blake Schrader, also nominated by Mrs. Evans.
And Luke gave me a hard time at the session stand.
I, again, had the fortunate ability of nominating Blake. I've talked about our great start to the year, and Blake is one of the main reasons why. As a leader, he is purely student-centered and is coming up with ideas that as an adult, I would never think of. So the pancake breakfast, he was one of the leaders of that, getting our seniors in the parking lot the first day of school at 7 a.m. His leadership is just, we appreciate it, and sometimes Blake can fly under the radar a little bit. He's a great kid. He works for us. He does a great job there. But I wanted to really recognize what he's doing for the kids, because he knows. He listens to them. He does what they want to do, and he'll tell me sometimes, like, Miss Evans, that's a terrible idea. Well, I don't know. But if Blake says it is, then it is. So, again, I nominated him. He's a senior. He's going to be one that I will miss tremendously. But again, just thanking him for his leadership and moving us forward in different directions than we would normally think of. So thank you, Blake.
Congratulations, Blake. We're going to do the headliners, which is great news from around the district, and then if the students of the month want to leave after that, they're welcome to do so. So in headliners, just a few things to highlight we had going on in the past month. On September 24th, our FFA hosted a lamb and goat show. We had exhibitors that came from as far away as Wheeling, West Virginia. This is an annual fundraiser for the FFA, and the proceeds were distributed between the 5 judging teams that have earned trips to national competitions this year. Our Whitko Marching Pride has been working very hard to perfect their performance, and it has paid off with a gold rating at the ISS-MA Regionals, and therefore they have advanced to semi-state competition this Saturday, and we wish them the very best. Also, congratulations to the Whitko girls volleyball team on their outstanding season. They played really hard and ended up their season at state competition with a 25-6 record. With harvest being in full swing, members of the Whitko FFA saw an opportunity to reach out and give back to area farmers. Students, with the help of donations from area sponsors, delivered over 100 meals to farmers in the fields and at the elevator. Their efforts were received with much appreciation. And finally, Northeastern Indiana was well represented recently at the American Royal Livestock Show, and our own Anna Sikafus showed the champion steer in Division I. But even more amazing, she was named the Intermediate Champion Steer Showman overall, and this is a huge show in Kansas City. So congratulations to her. And with that, if the students of the month want to leave, you're welcome to do so, but you're welcome to stay as well. We'll move on to 3.0, which is our reports. We have Chris Evans with Curriculum and TAP.
Thank you very much. Good evening. Sounds like we have some future Whitko staff members and all these outstanding children. One of the things you'll notice about my board report is I left some of the information on the bottom. I want that to be front and center in our mind of trying to improve our children's scores. So that is going to continue to be up there until we receive our next assessment data, and then that will change. Some of the training we've had, you can see. Principals rubric training, it is something new to me. It was a training that includes all the administrators so that we can bring their skills to the next level. We will be working on, they create their goals for the year. They're based on 6 different areas of improvement that they are going to do, everything from monitoring student progress to building capacity in their staffs to create future leaders. We had a couple of trainings for that, and tomorrow they are bringing their goals to our administrative meeting. And then Mr. Pavarnik and I will work through, we have what are called beginning of the year meetings where we go over that with them. There are touch points throughout the entire year. There's a middle of the year meeting, see how they are doing, and then an end of the year meeting. That allows us for support and coaching. Look forward to that this year. ILT is the instructional leadership team. It is the principal, masters, and mentors. They meet weekly and plan out their year. They have a long-range plan that goes into cluster, which is the master teacher and mentor teachers coaching the classroom teachers. And so those take place. We had extra training on those, just again to up our skills so that we are all on the same page, trying to bring us to more of a practice with NIET as opposed to just being in name. And then district long-range planning, that is one of the things that I do. I also receive coaching, which is something I appreciate through the National Institute for Excellence in Teaching, our specialist, which is assigned here. You will notice too that the reading goals are basically the same. They are working on those. Then you can see, and mine's in red, hopefully yours is, the way that we can tell whether we're making progress on our goals is that the winter benchmark for NWEA, that window opens in December, and by the time we return from the Christmas New Year break, we should be able to have an indication of where we are on the scale compared to where we started with our fall benchmark, and that will be the first indication of how well we're doing on our reading goals and implementing our strategies. The reading committee for adoption will be meeting, as I said last one, it will be starting after fall break. I have the names of teachers that Pearston principal and South Whitley principal have sent to me, volunteers, and also from the Career Academy. Ms. Jamie Pano is going to be on, she said, a wealth of curriculum experience, so she will be helping me as well. The invitations will be going out tomorrow for those committee members to be involved, and I will be able to give you periodic updates as we go along as to what our plans are. The very first thing we'll do is create a rubric to look at our own curriculum, what we're using now. And so we will create a rubric. We will judge what we're using now to see if it falls within those guidelines that we've set for ourselves. If it does, then we will see, is that the curriculum that we should have across both elementary schools? If it is not, then invitations will be sent out to other providers for curriculum, and we will begin to evaluate them on the same rubric that we created, coming up with the best reading program we can for our children. That's all I have. Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I just want to talk about benchmarking and just to say to the board in the community that I know you guys probably heard there was a hot button on the news today that the education reports nationwide came out on student achievement, and it was an all-time historic low that obviously is blamed on COVID and blamed on the fact that schools were shut down, students were out, and now the burning question on all the news programs are, now what do we do? Now we have to design programs, put money, bring our students back to bridge the gap that they lost and then try and get them to another grade level. We at Whitko are so far ahead of that curve that it didn't give me pleasure to hear that. It's sad that that's happening nationwide. It's been happening since before COVID. It's just now COVID's caused it to get national attention. But Mr. Evans, I think that you've done a tremendous job working with the rest of the administrative staff and the administrative staff. You've all done tremendous work. Our teaching staff has stepped up and done tremendous work, and the benchmarking that they're doing, that benchmarking, for those of you who may not be familiar with that, is under Mr. Evans' stewardship, is looking at each individual student, not just groupings, and determining where that student needs to be remediated, brought to grade level, and then they're grouped with that, and then they bring them to grade level. So Whitko is working diligently already on that. We're way down the path on that, and I'm very encouraged by what those results are going to be, more so in the spring, I think, than the winter, because we're going to have more time to remediate at that point. But just the fact that itself, that the benchmarking and the work that the staff and the teachers are stepping up and putting into our students is incredible. And even though the nation is at a low, Whitko is going to be coming up on that and closing those gaps rapidly. And Ms. Pano, thank you for stepping up and helping with the curriculum. She has a lot of experience in that we weren't aware of, that was brought forward, and we're tapping into that. And thank you so much. But thank you, Mr. Evans.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Shannon Lane from Pearson Elementary.
And I'm going to apologize if some of this sounds redundant. So Pearson, we've finished up our benchmarking, and we're now using that as well as NWA benchmarking to form student groups that are going to meet student needs. So it's all about the individual student, but how can we put a couple kids together that have similar needs and that can support each other and be supported by the teacher. Our instructional leadership team, or ILT, continues to look at resources and effective ways of teaching and planning small group reading instruction for our kids, because that's a big push for us. We know that kids have to hear what they're doing well and what they're still struggling with so that they can continue to grow, and we're supporting our teachers in providing that planning piece so that they can implement high quality instruction for our students. Good planning, good at teaching leads to good learning, and that's the connection. We've been working hard on Reader's Workshop, the model, so that we do have time and opportunities for that small group reading instruction. Kudos to my staff. They are working really hard. We're pushing some of them out of their comfort zone and getting them into that learning zone, just like we ask our students to be in as well. Our students and staff have identified our after-school reading program students that will start for our third graders that just need that extra support to strengthen and develop their skills so that they are proficient on iRead as well as reading in general in the classroom as well as in life. We have added a new morning announcement component. It is a student book recommendation. So I announced it one morning and I got tons of little sticky notes and things like that. So they have to tell me, what book is it? Why would kids want to read it? And it's been overwhelming some days to get all the sticky notes or all the conversations in the hallway, depending on the grade level. But now they're saying, you know what, other kids read and I can read too. And that's exciting for them. And it's great to see all those little notes. We continue to do Cubs Care Cards. We've given over 1,150 Cubs Care Cards to date, so that's pretty awesome. Our teachers are implementing Sources of Strength, and we're continuing to support that and provide that coaching and training for them. I do have to say our PTO put on a fabulous fall festival. We had over 150 students come and participate on September 24th. playing games, eating lots of candy, eating lots of candy, eating lots of candy, playing games. Exactly what kids ought to do on a Saturday afternoon. But it was fabulous to see, and all the teachers and the parents that volunteered numerous hours, and I appreciate that. It was awesome to have parents back in the buildings for parent-teacher conferences. That connection that you have when you're with a parent is different than when you're in a Google Meet. And it was just awesome to see those strengthening relationships between our teachers and our parents, because we know it's a partnership. We can't do it in isolation from our parents, nor should we try, and kind of welcoming them back in. On the same note, we have a concert coming up for our students for a music concert, and we're excited. That'll be November 17th. I will not be singing, and you're welcome.
Thank you.
As well as we are going to reintroduce some student achievement awards and ask our families to come back into our buildings again. So those would be like honor roll, citizenship. COVID kind of put a halt on some of those things, and we are excited to be offering and looking at the possibilities and what that would look and feel like for our students and our families, and celebrating student success, because success that's honored and recognized builds more success. So thank you guys.
What time is that concert on November 17th?
I believe, good question. I did not write that part down. I believe it is 6 o'clock, but I will double check.
Thank you.
Sorry, that detail escaped. Thank you.
Mr. Lang.
Brian Emmert from South Whitley Elementary.
Hello. I know Shannon talked just a little bit about our parent-teacher conferences, and I want to kind of ditto that it was nice to have parents back in the building. Once I did a count of everyone that showed up and everyone that was either in person or contacted via telephone, because we gave them choices as well. We had over 90% of our parents have a conference with their teacher. And I just thought that was a great way to really connect with the parents and the teachers. So I wanted to thank all of our staff for doing a great job. Again, we'll have another one-day conference in the spring, and those are kind of on a need if they need to have that. Talking about how COVID has changed everything, it's been a couple years since we've had a traditional Veterans Day program, and we're going back to have one. So this Friday, November 11th, on Friday, November 11th, we are having a Veterans Day program. Doors are going to open up at 8:45 a.m., and the program will start at 9:15. We have sent home flyers with our students to let the parents know and to invite any veterans that they may know of. And we're also contacting the local AMVETs. Our students are going to be performing a couple of songs, which that's always nice to see. And we're having a ceremony by Sergeant Snepp, who is local here in the community. And we're also going to have a bagpipe player. So we're kind of excited about that. And our students are going to be helping with the program as well. We've always had our local scouts help, and our ambassadors are going to be helping greet our veterans and helping them seat during the program. And just lastly, we finished up our girls volleyball season just right before fall break. The girls improved during the season, and that's always nice to see. But I think for the most part, every game that I went to, they had fun. So, and that was one of the best things that I saw. The boys basketball is going to be starting up next week. For the basketball seasons, we do a combined sixth grade team with Pearston. And so that'll be starting up next week. Coach Rhodes is excited to start those practices. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mrs. Evans?
Thank you. I'm also going to be presenting for the athletic department tonight, so I will have to. One thing I would like to to talk about is our ILT team has done a lot of learning walks. Learning walks are short periods of time where we go into a classroom and we look for the strengths of the teacher. And although it's human nature to pick out the bad, we've really, with our training with Mr. Evans and the NIET team, is we're focusing on what's going well. And one of the things that we've noticed beyond data, I could talk about data all day, but it are those connections that our teachers have with the students. And that in turn is reflected in the instruction that we see. So you've heard of the reluctant students. We don't have a lot of those because of the relationships that our staff are building with the kids. And I think that's something that a number is very hard to put to. It's more of a qualitative observation, but across classrooms, we see teachers smiling with kids, adjusting their instructions because they know one of our students had a significant family loss. And just to see that, that's, to me, that's what Whitko is all about. So I could talk about numbers a lot, but just seeing that is amazing. Our staff is incredible with how they connect with kids. On top of that, we are focusing on reading comprehension that has been mentioned multiple times. We're moving forward to a 6-week session in our cluster training where content groups are going to be able to get together and brainstorm and use each other of what went well in your classroom, so they'll be able to collaborate with each other to move forward in the reading comprehension. I'm glad that the elementaries had a great parent-teacher conference turnout. I would not say the same for our high school, which is typical, but out of a negative comes a positive. I've had a lot of staff members come to me with some really great ideas on how to make it more of a showcase night. So moving forward, we will have an event that coincides with our parent-teacher conferences just to bring in more of the community and parents. We did have a lot of our staff who would email, and I had a lot of emails from parents just thanking the teachers for taking time to email them and letting them know how their kid was. But we know we appreciate that face-to-face. So moving forward, we will do more of a showcase night with that. Assessments, we completed the PSAT this past month. I would like to thank Mr. Benedict and the WCA staff for coming out and supporting us through that, because we wouldn't have been able to do that without them. So thanks to them, and transportation, of course, who is always willing to adjust on the fly for us and get our kids where they need to be. We'll have some more data on that before Christmas break. You guys always cover my positive points, but I do want to say every Saturday night I get excited to see what our band has done, what our FFA has done, and they continue to amaze us, all our kids. The Beef Congress, Miss Sycophus, I'm not sure if you guys realize how incredible that is to receive that intermediate honor, but it's not just having a good animal, it's working with that animal. It's hours spent that she got there, so great news there. Upcoming, well, before that, our student council, and you got to meet Blake, his idea and some other students, we're going to be putting on a Halloween dance for our middle school students. Again, trying to connect them in different ways to the school. I'm already hearing talk about it. I get to sub in a science room for the next 2 weeks, and the kids are already excited about it and what costume they're going to wear and things. And just to see that interest is incredible. They're also going to be doing a movie night for the middle school students to give them another positive way to come to the school and have a little bit of fun. And again, the student council has been awesome. Ms. Sperlin and the kids have done a phenomenal job in doing kid centers activities instead of activities that I think would be good, or that maybe we've done in the past, but we're listening to our kids and we're doing what they want. So I look forward to seeing the kids in their costumes. Upcoming, we do have our ALICE training at the junior senior high school this coming Monday. Mr. Maurer has worked extensively with law enforcement to get that done. Our staff in end of school year survey noted that safety was their #1 concern, and we've really put a focus on that this year. Each school should have an opportunity to do that as well, but I know WCA is going to be included that also, so they'll come over and receive some of that training. It's for the kids, every time you look on the news, something unfortunate is happening, and we want to make sure that we're as ready as we can be. So we'll do that Monday. It'll be a 2-hour delay. So again, we thank you for the other buildings and everyone for working with us on that. It will keep our kids safer. It will give our staff confidence in that situation if it ever arises. On to athletics. Mr. Stingray reports our outdoor storage areas, they have been cleared out. That was quite the task. I can't tell you how frustrated we've been in getting those cleaned out. Construction trades project have started on our dugouts. Again, that the student workers have done a great job with that. And we're just trying to increase our storage so we know what else to do. So what else to go? Do we need more storage, or can we use what we have? Program schedules. What I would say is always check our EventLink website. We canceled our contract with VNN. EventLink is the most up-to-date information that you can get. So even though we print schedules, snow, whatever, EventLink is going to be the most reliable way to go for that. Fall sports ended. You guys mentioned all the season, all the athletes did a great job. We had an all-conference tennis player with David Ousley. Our sectional champ, he is a phenomenal player. He's got recognition for his behavior on top of his playing ability. Volleyball team was very successful. We're moving into the winter season. Girls basketball already started. I was watching them in the gym today. They look ready. Boys basketball and wrestling will start very soon. He would like to thank the Booster Club for their support throughout the fall season. And then he looks forward to having them at the boys and girls basketball games and future events. Moving forward, he's really working on expanding the Whitko branding and fundraising opportunities. He's also promoting our website more because, again, that's going to be our most up-to-date contact information. And then I think one of the exciting things that the athletic department is doing is creating the Student Athletic Council. This will be a group of leaders who will go to different events. Our goal eventually is to get a unified team here of some sort, whether it be track or flag football, and just that inclusive nature that Whitko is. The student advisory committee will be heading that up, so heading in all the right directions.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Chris Benedict from the Career Academy.
Good evening. Good evening. I'll touch base a little bit tonight on our construction projects. Construction trades lab should be wrapping up the end of this month. There was one part that was not, it's back ordered, that's coming in. When that comes in, Ryder Electric will be here to do that, and then also connect to the greenhouse and get that taken care of as well. And then Flowtech's coming in to finish up our greenhouse with the water, getting that done. I know those two projects have been ongoing and long, and all of us want to see a finalized date on that, and nobody more than me, to kind of get that done, and more importantly, our teachers and our students to get and actually utilize those facilities. So they are coming, and it's getting close. Our construction kids are starting to move some stuff down there. Some of the machines won't be hooked up until that actual kill switch gets in there. We're not going to let them do that until that kill switch gets done. So when that comes in, that's on back order. When that gets in, then Ryder will be out here to take care of that. So we were excited on October the 4th. The Don Wood Foundation surprised us with a number of schools with a $2,500 non-restrictive grant for Manufacturing Day, and we celebrated that with them. So excited about that. The Wood Foundation, again, continues to contribute to our welding and machining and manufacturing engineering students, and just another way they're just kind of giving back to us again. So want to make sure we recognize that. Our agriculture program, I know they've been hit hard here with headliners, and a lot of them, Mrs. Evans has also talked about them and the job that Mr. Dice does with our FFA kids from a curricular standpoint in the classroom with Mr. Dice, Ms. Penrod, and Ms. Murphy. They are doing a tremendous job. Our 8th graders are all in that intro to ag class. Our freshman kids are getting principles of ag, animal science, food science, and plant and soil science. The sophomores are at advanced life science courses. Juniors in horticulture and landscaping, and then we have 5 senior students in ag power, and then we have 5 additional kids that are doing capstone experiences out actually in the field. So, on top of everything that they're doing with FFA, they're doing a tremendous job in the classroom as well with their curriculum stuff. So just wanted to make sure we hit on that. Early childhood education professions under direction of Angie Irwin. Again, tremendous infield experiences. Our early childhood kids are placed at Little Cats, and they're down there working with those kids. In the Learning Center, our education profession kids are at Pearson Elementary for the first semester in classrooms, and then we have some senior capstone students in those programs that are actually employed by Little Cats. So it's really cool from a part-time experience to be able to offer those things right here in our own backyard. So she's doing a tremendous job. Culinary Arts Department under Evan Pickens provided our staff at parent-teacher conferences with the food that night. It was tremendous. They had a great dinner planned for us. 3 different types of lasagna, veggie, beef, and chicken. And we had a chicken Caesar salad as well as breadsticks. Really good, really delicious. Evan's done a tremendous job with our Culinary Arts Department, and they're just kind of continuing to raise the bar in there. Our first 9 weeks we have had our learning walks on October 11th with Stacy from NIET. We were in a lot of different classrooms that day and got to visit almost every single one of them out here at the Academy. Again, that ILT drives our cluster meetings on Monday mornings. That focus for the first 9 weeks have been on our learning environment and how reading is impacted in our career pathway choices. A lot of times you don't think about reading in your career pathway, but when you get into that career pathway, there's a lot of technical reading that goes with that. So we're trying to get our teachers to hone in on that as well and kind of meet those needs of our students. And then the last part was student ownership, trying to get our teachers to understand how we can get student ownership in their classroom and everything that they're doing out here. And again, it kind of lends itself with our classes to have a lot of student ownership with all the hands-on experiences that they get, but making sure that they're aligned to our state standards and making sure that that's happening as well. So that's been our focus on our cluster meetings and our Monday morning. Backside then goes to alternative school. We are at, again, 14 students in the morning session, 7 in the afternoon. Have issued 43 total credits so far here in semester 1, which is a really good number. Again, those seniors are starting to, again, they just get to see it on a different level to where they kind of see the end is coming, and they know that they got a chance to make it happen with the Apex program, and and then have that pathway out here at the Academy too. So those 2 programs have kind of worked side by side in servicing those students and getting them kind of directed in a field that they want to go into, and they kind of just understand what that diploma will mean to them. So it's been a really nice experience. From the Apex program, got a number of students taking part in the Apex program. 12 credits so far, but over fall break when I got back today, I had 8 credits that I turned into Mrs. Kessie today just from fall break. So up to 20 with just those Apex kids. So again, our kids being able to get that credit recovered so they can move on and they can have other opportunities in their schedule throughout the day is just working out tremendous. So that's all I got.
Thank you.
I have
Yep.
a question for you.
Yep.
I see where Mr. Stone's looking at a position change.
Yes,
He has been working with the blue team, right?
correct.
Will he still continue to do that? Or
He is going to transition to Mrs. Coyle. Mrs. Coyle's our other special education teacher out here, so he will transition her into that. What Mr. Stone moving into the alternative classroom as well as our homeschool pathway that we're trying to get going. A licensed teacher in there obviously will help that out tremendously, and Mr. Stone has numerous amount of experience working with alternative type kids. But he's going to transition for about 2 weeks here with Mrs. Coyle in the morning to get those blue teams transitioned to her, and then morning with Mrs. Coyle, our other special ed teachers out here at the Academy. So she will end up taking that over at some point.
Okay, thank
Okay.
you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Allison Kellogg.
So to make it clear, the blue team will still be running and functional. I know that that is a very important thing, and we do not want to lose that. So yes, the blue team will still be doing their thing, because we love seeing them around here. They enjoy doing it, and it's fun. Like just even this year, I've seen them come alive even more. And there was one student who, at the beginning of last year, didn't really address adults by name, and now not only is he recognizing who all of us are, but he's addressing us by name. So that's been cool to see that growth. So we do not want to lose that at all. I'm very excited to announce that all of our schools now have a speech and language pathologist. Laura Nettesheim is providing services at our Pearson campus, and I've been hearing really great things from her. I think things are going smoothly there. Karen Norris is providing services to our South Whitley campuses. Both are contracted services and both are virtual. I'm still working on trying to find in-person people. We've been looking at speech and SLPs that may be in the district, that may be around this area, that may enjoy being a Whitko Wildcat. So we're definitely not giving up on trying to find in-person services, but Karen and Laura are going to do a good job in the meantime. So Laura's been on board since before fall break. Karen is currently in the onboarding process, so should be within the week. She should be providing services on a consistent basis for our students. And I just want to show my appreciation and my thankfulness for my principals, for keeping open the communication with those SLPs to organize schedules, to make sure that they have everything they need to contact teachers, to make sure that those services get started. I'm thankful for the teachers for being flexible with their schedules to make sure our students are getting their needs met, and the various staff members who are ensuring that the coverages are there, that they're there with our students, and that everything's going smoothly with logging on, and that the microphones are working well, that they can hear everything. So our staff is really stepping up. And then just for the community in general for being patient throughout this whole process. I've said it a million times, and I know it may be a clanging cymbal by this point, but this really is a nationwide issue, and so it's been very difficult, and I'm just so thankful for everyone that's just shown a lot of patience through this process. I don't have it on the update, but I just wanted to address a couple of things. I've been partnering with the master teachers at the junior senior high school. I've been partnering with Brittany and Joel, and we've been focusing on a section of our rubric, the teacher knowledge of students, and we've joined together to collaborate to tie in special education services and how our knowledge of students, we can provide accommodations and modifications in our classroom that can not only help special ed students, but all of our students, as it was addressed by Chris, or I think it was Mr. Pravarnik earlier, about how our scores are at a nationwide low. And so it's not just our special ed students that need modifications and accommodations, it's all of our students. And so we're just kind of using that collaboration between the special ed department and our general education teachers on how we can work together to make sure all of our students are getting what they need in order to do the best that they can. And so our first cluster meeting was today, where we talked about strategies, and we did it in a Mythbusters format, and so it was kind of like a true or false, and that was really fun how we did that. And so it was just really interesting to see everyone partner together and get our brains thinking on how we can meet our students' needs. And then CPI training is going to be starting this week, and hopefully at a larger scale we're going to be doing retrainings here very soon. So again, making sure that our teachers feel safe and making sure that we know the best strategies and the best practices to make sure that our students are safe at all times. When it comes to grants, the title grant revisions have been accepted, so all of the title grants are approved and functioning at this time. I have filed our Part B grants. 619 has been approved, and I'm still waiting on 611. So all of our funding is in place.
Kellogg, I'm sorry, I just want to say thank you for your hard work and dedication. I mean, she is just in her office constantly trying to fill positions, and she not only gets that done, but you get quality. And your outreach, as you mentioned, to all of our students is just incredible. I just want you to know that your dedication, your impeccable professionalism, your hard work is not going unnoticed. Thank you.
Thank you. Mrs.
Thank you.
Jason Klein.
Jason, what we got here? Been busy. You got new microphones?
Well, that's what I'll start with then. First, I would like to apologize for a lack of written report. I will keep things brief as I also have no notes. So we have made several changes in here after some issues that we had with the streaming and the audibility in the room. And there are still a few adjustments that still need to be made, but the streaming is going very well. We've changed from headset mics to on-table mics, and we have added more cameras, and you may have noticed there's a new one up there, a new one over here, and they are allowing us to get better visibility of the students of the month and the presenters, as well as the board itself. We are continuing to work on the upgrade to our 10 gig internet or network between our buildings. We are about halfway through that process on our end now that the fiber has been lit, and we should be getting that up and running within the next 10 days or so. I would also like to give Blake Schrader a shout out, as he is our tech intern this year, and he has been very, very impressive in everything that he has done. And other than that, we have mostly just been working on keeping everything going. And
Thank you.
anything you would like to?
Thank you.
Well, Jason, I just want to say, and want the board and the community, that our virtual clinics in each building is up and running.
I
Started
forgot about
this
that.
week.
Yes.
It was not an issue at South Whitley, but it was an issue in this building and Pearston, because I don't know all the technology stuff that you tell me. I just nod my head like I know, but I really don't. But there are big words in there and that kind of stuff about being different providers or different firewalls.
To keep them on a network that is private, so that they have ample bandwidth and there is no cross traffic that could be a problem. We had to make some changes to the way the networking was done in this building and at Pearston. And we also had a small glitch this morning with our unit at South Whitley. It had been moved to a new location and wasn't connecting to the wireless because it wasn't there. But that's up and running now, and we should be in pretty good shape with that. It's looking very impressive.
But he's being very humble. He had to go through a lot of hoops and a lot of work to get this building and Pearston to connect strongly enough for those virtual clinics. So thank you for your hard work on that.
Thank you.
Thank you. And finally, we have Jamie Payno.
Hello. I don't know if you have the handout in front of you, but I want you to, if you do, take a look at the picture of the tots on the top there. Do you have this handout?
No.
Oh, well.
Okay. We did look at it.
Oh, okay. So the teachers are applying the Indiana Early Learning Foundations through play-based and nature-based learning. And last week, the toddlers dissected pumpkins. And I learned yesterday of a local child care center that closed. This community is in dire need for quality care that also aligns with the Indiana Learning Foundations. So we're working diligently to solve this need through community and corporation collaboration, and by doing so, recruiting experienced and passionate staff that will, allow for the children to flourish. We are guiding the WCA capstone and education profession students through real-world learning experiences by teaching and learning hands-on in the classroom with these kiddos. Our big picture goals are to increase enrollment by expanding our physical space, and we also need to recruit experienced and dedicated staff to expand the vision of Little Cats and Whitko. We're looking forward to solving our need for food assistance and service in our center. I've been cooking, and I've become quite the chef. So we're trying to figure out some ideas on how to solve the food service issue that's happening right now. We're excited about our playground being constructed. It has been pushed back. the labor, parts and labor, everything has been pushed back, and they're thinking after Christmas break now, unfortunately, but it will happen. We are excited that we'll be partnering with this school care team to bring Komochi's program to Little Cats. And Komochi's, it's a program that helps children recognize and manage their attitudes and their emotions, and demonstrate caring and concern for others, and helping establish positive relationships and make responsible decisions while handling challenging situations constructively. And last and not least, we will be getting Whitko Little Cats apparel and gear coming soon. So if you want a t-shirt, let me know. I will put you down. Any questions?
Jamie, with my work I've been doing with KEDCO, with businesses, it's a hot topic, is
Yeah.
quality, affordable childcare
Mhm.
in this area and the lack of it. So you've been getting a lot of attention, and people are applauding your program that you don't even know about, and they're excited about it. So that's good. Also, I spoke with Alan Teo about an hour ago, and Matt Doms had asked me to look or find out if he knew anything about how to deal with the meal situation. Alan told me that the Catholic school in Warsaw uses Black Tie Catering to provide their meals. So Matt was going to probably get with Chris and yourself and work on that. So there might be a solution. I don't know.
Okay,
but
thank you. Good to know. You said Black Tie Catering through Warsaw?
Yes.
Okay.
It's kind of through Penguin Point, I think.
Oh, okay.
And that's what they do. So.
Interesting. Anything else?
Thank you so much. All right, we have the superintendent update.
Well, I'll say it's always so pleasurable to sit here and hear all the positive reports from the buildings. It's probably even more of a pleasure when you listen to, like I alluded to earlier, the news. And this morning, when you hear about, what we're going to do now to fill these gaps in education, and we're doing it already, and we're already way down that road. Jamie Hagno talks about expanding Little Cats. I know the week before fall break, she turned away 12 families who didn't have room, who didn't have staffing, because we haven't done all the remodeling that needs to be done in that hallway, and we still have some classrooms, I think 2, Mr. Benedict, that are still being held in that hallway because the construction trades room is not done yet. There is power in there, but there's a big button switch that you can hit to shut everything down. You have to have installed before you can officially move into it. And when that happens, then they move out of those 2 rooms that are down at the end of the one hallway, and then those 2 classrooms move into there, which is a domino effect, which allows us then to finish what needs to be done at Little Cats to expand that and to help get the additional staff. And there is, I think, on this one, a full-time. This is again a full-time. You're turning somebody into a full-time member to kind of help expand that as well, which will help. Speaking of that, those 2 rooms, which leads me to a next topic that I want to just kind of discuss with the community and the board is I'm getting, and I did put a message out on our website and on our district Facebook, that I'm getting very interesting calls from the community in my office, from community members in the last couple of weeks about the idea that the D wing in the high school we know is empty. It's not being used. I know Ms. Evans wants to go for oxygen right now. You don't need to. And that, the idea is, the rumor is that we're going to close the junior, senior high school building and move it to Larwell. So that demon's come back to visit us again. And I can just sit here, just want to say to the community that that's just nothing but a bad rumor. It's just not true, and the dog is just not going to hunt. That's just fine. This board and I have never had, since the day I've been here, a conversation about ever moving the junior, senior high school out of South Whitley to Larwell. We have a functioning incredible career academy running here that's not going to change. It's growing on a daily basis. And those rooms at the D wing, by the way, is not empty. Art is down there, digital art is down there, band is down there, technology is down there, and there's a resource room down there. So I don't know where these rooms come from, but I want to be on record coming from me. That is just not true, and has never been a topic that's been bridged between the board and I will say any board member and myself. Another rumor I keep hearing about is just $300,000 I'm going to spend to turn a couple of classrooms into a central office. Well, I'm here to tell you, if I'm going to spend $300,000 to remodel 2 classrooms for central office, I'm going to build a new building out front. I'm not going to remodel 2 classrooms. And I don't need a new central office. The one we have is fine. Those very 2 classrooms, I want the board to know, are 2 classrooms that we're waiting for construction trades to move out of so we can move the other 2 out of to give Ms. Pano the room she needs at Little Cats. There's no room for a central office down there if I wanted to put one down there. And I happen to like the office I got, and I got to spend $300,000. And I'm not going to spend $300,000. I don't know where that rumor comes from, but I'm here just again to say, put it on record. That's just not true. It's never been talked about. Only time there's ever been a conversation about moving central office to a couple of classrooms is in the early stages of the clinic, when Parkview was talking about putting a full-fledged clinic before the virtual ones in this building. They said if we put a clinic in, the central office we have now would be a turnkey clinic. And perhaps we could do something different with your central office should we do that. That's it. We didn't do the clinic, we're doing virtual. There was never any dollar amount discussed. So I don't know where the $300,000 came from. I have no idea. And I don't know where it came from. They were going to close the school down. Because we have tremendous plans for the D wing and for that school, not to mention all the work we just finished doing. Junior, senior high school is in South Whitley, and that's where it's going to stay. And my central office is right over there, and that's where it's going to stay. Our freezer in this building, in this kitchen, in our culinary arts over the fall break, has been fixed. It's set like that for a long time. It hasn't worked. It's fixed. It's 2 below 0 in there. It freezes. It works great. Our dishwasher guy was out, looked at the dishwasher. He ordered a part to fix that. That'll be fixed soon. And I say that to say that we are diligently working to build our culinary program into a program that can also serve Little Cats. And so we're working diligently toward that. But in the meantime, Mr. Worcester, thank you for the outreach and trying to find an alternative program for that. Mm-hmm. One more thing to talk about is Mr. Stone. Mr. Stone's movement to alternative lab. I want to congratulate Mr. Irwin, young Mr. Irwin, not our John still here, young Mr. Irwin. He got his degree, and he got his job in the business world. He's been working toward that. So, and I just want to say that he gave us some very good service while he was here, and he'll be missed, but kudos to him for his success in getting his degree and for the job he wanted in the business. That opened that area up that we could bring in a licensed teacher. We had it with Mr. Stone to come in there. That allows us to expand our alternative now with the licensed teacher to put into play that we're designing and working on. In fact, we're having a meeting about it tomorrow of our homeschool outreach, and that would be an alternative program that can now be under the umbrella of a licensed teacher, which is very big. And also allows us to enhance a program that we want to work towards here of using the alternative program as an alternative to expulsion. So instead of just throwing a student out, we can give them an alternative route to continue their education here at Whitko. So we sit here and hear all these positives. Believe me, there are so many positives and so many good things happening at Whitko. don't get wrapped up in these rumors and innuendo. Whitko is on the move in a positive way, and Mrs. Evans, I think you said it best when you said it's just incredible when you watch the relationship with our teachers and our students and what they do. And you see our students down here every month when they come up here for their certificates. They're just wonderful young men and ladies. I couldn't be more proud than to be here and be superintendent. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ferrari. We will move on to the business reports and consent agenda. We were all given those to read through and look at. There's personnel issues here too, employment actions, et cetera. I need a motion to accept the business reports and consent agenda as presented.
I make a motion that we accept the business reports and consent agenda as outlined in section 6.
All the way through. I'll second it.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we accept the consent reports and consent agenda and public or and business reports as presented. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 And those opposed? The motion passes. And I do want to just make a quick note to the public that any of these reports that the board gets ahead of time, we see these and then we come in, we vote on them. The public is more than welcome to contact Ms. Carano in the office and get copies of that. It's all public knowledge except for employment issues or personnel issues. Everything else is public, and all they have to do is contact Ms. Carano via email, it's the preferred route. And all that information is on our website to contact you, is it not? Okay. In new business, 7.1, we have Resolution 0110-24-2022 to adopt the 2023 school budget. Can I get a motion to accept that budget?
I make a motion that we accept, we adopt the 2023 school budget as presented.
Second.
Is there any discussion on that? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The motion passes. 7.2 is the resolution to adopt the bus replacement plan. Can I get a motion on that, please?
I move that we adopt the bus replacement plan.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we adopt the bus replacement plan. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed? The motion passes. 7.3 is a resolution to adopt the capital projects fund plan. Is there, can I get a motion on that, please?
I move we adopt the capital projects fund plan.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we adopt the capital projects fund plan. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed? The motion passes. 7.4 is a resolution to transfer education funds of $766,540 in installments to the operations fund. Can I get a motion on that, please?
I move we transfer education funds of $766,540 in installments to the operations fund.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we transfer $766,540 in installments from the education fund to the operation fund. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed? The motion does pass. 7.5 is the first reading of Neola Policies, Volume 35, Number 1. These policies will come before the board again in November for a second and final reading. I need a motion to accept that first reading of those Neola policies.
I move we accept the first reading of the Neola Policies, Volume 35, Number 1.
I second it.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we accept the first reading of the Neola policies, Volume 35, Number 1. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed? The motion passes. 7.6 is the approval of Little Cats Early Learning Center teacher flex schedule job description. We were all provided that. Is there any, or I need a motion actually on that first.
I move that we accept the Little Cats Early Learning Center teacher flex schedule job description.
I second it.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we approve the Little Cats Early Learning Center teacher flex schedule job description. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed? The motion passes. 7.7 is the approval of the NIET Certified Teacher Stipend paid with ESSER 3 grant funds in November. Could I get a motion for that, please?
I move that we approve the NIET certified teacher stipends.
Seconded.
So properly moved and seconded that we approve the NIET Certified Teacher Stipends. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the motion passes. 7.7 is the approval of the administrator and non-certified employee appreciation bonus to be paid in December. Can I get a motion on that, please?
I move that we accept the appreciation bonus as outlined in section 7.7.
I second it.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we accept the administrator and non-certified appreciation bonuses as outlined in 7.7. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed?
Nay.
The motion passes 4-1. In 7.8, we have the approval of the annual field trips along with the following one-time field trips, and I will not read those as it is an extensive list. Can I get a motion to approve the field trips, please?
I move that we approve the annual field trip as presented.
I second it.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we approve the field trips as listed. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. Any miscellaneous administrative items, Mr. Carney?
Yes, just to announce to the public, they didn't see that we had a special meeting before our work session on 12th of October, a couple weeks ago. And as you all know, Jim Bumball resigned to become the chief of police at Pearson. And at that special meeting, we, or the board, I should say, unanimously approved our local resident, Rhonda Shavely, to replace him as maintenance and transportation director. And she has experience in both of those fields, and we're very fortunate to have her, and she will start work with us on a full-time basis November 1st.
Thank you.
Does anyone have anything else that needs to be brought before the board tonight? All right. Miscellaneous board items. We have a work session scheduled for November 9th, 2022 at 4 p.m. in the South Philly Elementary School cafeteria. And that is a public meeting, so the public is invited and encouraged to attend. We have coffee with the superintendent following that work session. That'll be at 5 p.m., again at South Philly Elementary. The next regular board meeting is Monday, November the 21st, 2022, at 6:30 right here in the lecture room at the Career Academy. Again, open to the public and encourage the public to attend. I would entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting.
I move we adjourn the meeting.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we adjourn tonight's meeting. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed? This meeting is adjourned. Thank you all for coming.